It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario on October 16th. I wish it was August. October 16th, 2025. Uh, big story, the big story, I guess, today is Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Toronto today to meet with Doug Ford, his buddy Doug Ford, and they're going to announce, I guess, come next week, they're going to announce new bail reform legislation to keep criminals in jail instead of getting bail. So I guess they're stealing another one of Pierre's ideas. And I don't think it's going to make a difference. Obviously, not going to complain if they try to fix the bail laws, but I don't have much faith in the people that broke him to fix it. I think as long as you don't mention deporting a lot of these criminals, bail reform's good, but unless you have the mass deportations beside the bail reform, I don't think it's going to help. People wait too long to get to go through the criminal court system. It's just screwed. So unless you have mass deportations, yeah, the solution's not going to happen. So, yeah, that was the big thing. I guess they have to respond to all the headlines of people getting out on bail. And also, another thing that needs to be done along with the bail and the mass deportations is Youth Criminal Justice Act. We were talking about this jewellery smash and grab the other day. Yesterday, I think it was. And they had to chase them, and they caught a bunch. But a lot of them were minors, like I think all of them almost. So, yeah, I think if you're doing smash and grabs and you're doing home invasions and carjackings, you shouldn't be qualified as a young offender. Either you're a young criminal or some criminal organizations putting you up to using you because you're a minor and you're not going to get in trouble. All right. So, yeah, a lot of reforms needed in this country. A lot of reforms. Okay. Since I'm not on X, I got suspended. I'm still got a couple days on my suspension. So we'll go to the Facebook for the day's events here. It's not looking good for Canada. And then we still got that budget coming up in, 3 weeks or so. It's going to be like a really disastrous budget. All right. Here's Mark Carney went to visit Doug Ford's house in Etobicoke. So first he stayed and hung out with him at the cottage. Now he's going up to his house in Etobicoke to talk about all their the stuff. But yeah, that's Trader Doug Ford. Best buddies with the federal Liberals. He was when Trudeau was the Prime Minister. He was with Chrystia Freeland, best buddies. And now with Mark Carney. They're meeting today. Let's see what this post says. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Dropped by Ford Nation's home in Etobicoke today. We spoke about getting major projects built, our government's plan to toughen bail and sentencing laws, and our measures to support workers and industries affected by tariffs. Yeah. My thanks to the Premier for his partnership. Together, we're working to create more certainty, security, and prosperity for the people of Ontario. So yeah, they're in it together. They're destroying Canada together. Ford helped Trudeau destroy Canada during the last 7 years of his premiership. And he's doing the same with Carney. So I thought that was funny that he went to his house. Okay. What's the next one here? I have a little bit of a lag here. This is an interesting. Excuse me. This is an interesting thing. It shows the GDP of countries, and you see Canada there is at the bottom, and USA is at the top. You see the drop there, that's COVID, and then everybody bounced back except for Canada. Canada went down after COVID. Like, even after the COVID rebound, it didn't. It was lower than its pre-COVID time. So, yeah, the GDP's a very strong indicator of how bad this country's been run. And the traders running this country blame Trump when this is all baked in before Trump even won re-election. All this economic problems, and Trump just came along and he saw what kind of mess it is. So it's like easy pickings for him. So I think he said it right here. Kirk Lubomov. It may be a tough pill to swallow for many Canadians, but Canada has a lost decade, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump just exposed it even more. It has everything to do with the people you voted for. No lies or excuses can make up for it. Yeah. They're just blaming Trump so people don't blame them, like where the blame should be. So people are buying it, but I think they're starting to like, whatever, the tariffs aren't what's screwing me. The tariffs aren't what's preventing me from getting a house or getting groceries. It's our shitty leadership. And I think people are realizing it. But both Ford and Carney and Trudeau before them are responsible for the state of the country. It's not Trump. All right, next. Jeremy McKenzie. Conservatives and liberals both dancing around the issue of... Okay, he's talking about the bail reform here. Both dancing around the issue of crime. Neither have solutions, only wallpaper and more reasons to take your money. Our jails and prisons are beyond full. I was in them. We are inundated with foreign criminals. Mass migration is the primary driver of the rise. Mass migration is the primary driver of the rise in crime, and no amount of bail reform rhetoric is going to stop that. Let's stop wasting our military playing games overseas for wealthy elites that don't even live here. Classify narcotics such as fentanyl as chemical weapon agents, which in turn will make it distributors and suppliers, not drug dealers, but narco-terrorists. Yeah, I agree with that. Don't just end financial incentives for endless waves of non-Canadians to come here and soak up our wealth. Reverse them, penalize them, charge companies triple for hiring non-Canadians, and give tax breaks and incentives to hire, educate, and support our own. Non-Canadians convicted of crimes beyond minor traffic violations and parking tickets should be deported immediately. Yeah, a lot of countries, you're on the next plane out if you break their rules on a visa. Non-Canadians are not our responsibility, and we have no obligation to them. If they want to take advantage of our people, they too can face a fixed bayonet on the way to their deportation flight. We don't need to be tough on crime. We need to become a terrifying, uncompromising nightmare for crime to the extent that the mere mention of the name Canada stirs violent post-traumatic episodes in international criminal syndicates. Yeah, it's not right now, that's for sure. People aren't afraid of our government. Politicians can't even stomach mean words, but our families must stomach endless death and ruin. They do not have the courage or strength of will required to fix the mess they've created. Yes. So yeah, this bail reform thing is just I think it's just a slop to people to shut them up. Oh, your kids are, your women are being raped. We'll do bail reform next week. Okay. This guy, CIA agent Andrew Bustamante, immigration is not a human right. This is the thing that he's right. Like, this applies to Canada too. It's like everybody comes to Canada with this sob story, and everybody's got a sob story. Trust me. But if we took everybody with a sob story to Canada, which these liberals and these elbows up people, if it was up to them, they would. If we took everybody with a sob story, we'd be screwed. We are screwed already, but that's the mentality. It's like it's our duty to take people from Africa, from India, from Middle East, whatever. It's not our duty. Not our duty at all. Okay, this guy, he said it, he really expressed it well, because sometimes I don't express it as well as I would like. But this is kind of agree with, I really agree with
we
what
don't want to be the person about someone like Katie Hopkins.
There is a question of if the foreigner doesn't benefit the fucking country, they shouldn't be here. What you're getting at there is a question of ideology. You just said yourself, we don't want to be the person that's anti-immigration. Well, why not? What makes you feel like there's anything wrong with being the person who's anti-immigration? The problem is that we've been socially acculturated, right? To believe that immigration is like a human right, that immigration is a good thing, that immigration is democracy. Fuck that! Fuck that! That's not why immigration was invented. Immigration was invented because countries needed to survive, so they needed to bring in skilled workers from other countries, or they needed to bring in labor-intensive workers from other countries to do jobs that the local skilled workforce couldn't do. That's it. That's why immigration exists. It's not supposed to be fair and just, and we're here to help people, and we want to make sure that refugees have a safe place. No, that's all political bullshit. That's all stuff that you feed a stupid citizenship to make them feel like we're doing the right thing by letting foreigners into our country. If the foreigner doesn't benefit the fucking country, they shouldn't be here. There's some other place they can go where they can benefit that country there, but that country isn't here. So when you're bringing in people who are unskilled, uneducated, and then when they come here, they also don't acculturate to your country, that's not an immigrant. That's a transplant. That's a person who's just bringing their culture, their life, their society to you to feed off of you, to feed off of your land and your taxes and your benefits to help them, not the other way around. And that's not me being anti-immigration. I am all for immigration. I come from a country that was built on the backs of immigrants who had something special and they gave it to the country that they moved to. That's completely different than giving safe haven to a bunch of broke and poor people because you feel like it's the nice thing to do. If the foreigner doesn't benefit the fucking country...
All right. That's really exactly how I feel. Like he expressed it pretty well. Like, anybody with a sob story and will come. If they know they're going to take anybody with a sob story, trust me, you're going to get the sob stories. And they did that with we were talking about the Nigerians that got deported. It was a woman and her 9 children, and they had a sob story, but they still got deported. And I was pretty proud of the government. I didn't think they had it in them. So he's right. Like, you can't. It's not our job. It's not our job to take everybody in. If we took everybody in from Africa or from India that had a sob story, oh my God, we'd be screwed. Like I said, we're already screwed, but we'd be totally screwed. But that's what they want. It's like he's got a problem back home. Give him Canadian citizenship. Like, come on. But our dummy immigration office, they're sending it out to, like, if you're trans, if you're being prosecuted because you take it in the ass, come to Canada. Or if you need health care, we have free health care. Come here. Like, come on, man. Come on. Next. This is good. Maybe good. It has potential to be good. Apparently Trump and Putin might meet soon in Hungary. which is Hungary's, to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. And the leader of Hungary he's been against the war, very vocal against the war, and there's a lot of Hungarians in Ukraine, but basically the opposite of Canada, which Canada keeps throwing money into this stupid globalist war, and they are also, intent on making us enemies with Russia. That's their strategy. But hopefully, this is a good sign that they're going to try and end this war. Because, once they're in a war, it's hard to, the gun dealers don't want it to end, right? So I think he's trying to end it, I hope. So, but yeah, Canada's just gave another 500 million. They give them 22 billion. So it's like, I'd rather do like Orban, the Hungarian prime minister, trying to end the war instead of keeping it going like our traitor liberals. Chrystia Freeland. She's probably getting a lot of money right now from her little Ukraine position. So there's a... got a lag here. I don't know. Yeah. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban slams the European Union. Europe must shift its stance. Instead of arrogance and fanning the flames of endless war, we need negotiations with Russia. Only dialogue can bring peace to our continent. Yes, I think he's speaking, being reasonable, whereas our Prime Minister, and our, whatever the hell Chrystia Freeland is, keep pushing from war with Russia. I think the Hungarian guy's probably, I like what he's saying better. And I think most Canadians prefer that. No war. Okay. This one's an interesting story. It's Indians and guns. 2 Brampton men in possession of 72 smuggled handguns. 2 Brampton residents facing multiple criminal code charges related to weapons trafficking. So, I don't know what. It looks like they were bringing guns from the U.S. with Indian truck drivers. A surprise. So it looks like they busted a truck coming over. So there's a truck. They were on a truck coming from the States, and they had all these guns. Look at all these guns. 72 counts of weapons trafficking. Kawalbir Singh and Balraj Singh. Cocaine, too. They had cocaine and guns. So, yeah, that's what we're importing to Canada. So, yeah, you can have all the bail reform you want. But I'm sure we could deport those 2 Singh boys, and that would be a lot less burden on the court system. So it wouldn't take years to do a court case. Even in Sarnia here, it takes years to do a court case. Years. Like 3 or 4 years to do a court case. A serious one. And what is it with the Indians and their guns? Like, we see so much videos of them with guns in Canada. And they have like this big gun fetish. They look like American gun nuts, but like, what are they planning? What do they need all these guns for in peaceful Canada? These Indians. All right. Next. This is the one, the smash and grab, the jewellery place. And this is in Newmarket, right? Wasn't in the GTA. I thought it was in the GTA. Usually they're in the GTA, but they're spreading out, right? So sometimes they went to Grimsby. Here they're in Newmarket. So they're spreading out. And I said, it's just a matter of time before they do a smash and grab in Sarnia, the Sarnia jewelry store, whether it's in the mall or outside the mall. I'm not trying to encourage it. I'm just saying realistically, this kind of crime is going to come to Sarnia. So look at this. A 15-year-old two 16-year-olds and an 18-year-old have been charged after a $100,000 jewelry store robbery in Newmarket. Yeah, are young offenders. There's a lot of this going on. And they're doing like home invasions, all sorts of serious shit. Look at this. This the punks. The punks. I don't care. If you're old enough to do a smash and grab of a jewelry store, then you're old enough to be tried as an adult. And then if you're a little punk immigrant, then you're old enough to get deported. Because, like that, the 14-year-old that stabbed the grandma at the supermarket parking lot, he was from, like, whatever the hell, Jamaica or something. They got to start treating these young offenders like criminals, like adult criminals, and the ones that are not Canadian, deport. And their parents.
Okay, he's gonna make a break for it, boys.
Okay, so it looks like the cops. This is like the 401. Or, I don't know. No, it's not the 401. Look at that. They caught the little punks. They'll be screaming for
They have the vehicle contained. We've got runners.
They'll be screaming for their mama. Shoot.
2-1 Bravo, we got the driver in custody. Taser deployed.
There's one running. Those are running.
See the police.
There he is. Got him.
Running eastbound on Song Meadow.
Little punks. Look at all the problem they're causing. They're messing up the whole traffic. Look at this. Little punks. They got caught. Usually, so the Toronto police definitely released this, or York Regional Police, to kind of show that they're doing stuff, I guess. They caught them at least. They'll be out on bail. Time to treat young offenders, violent young offenders, like the thugs they are instead of like children. That's got to change. It's got to change. Because back in the day, the young offender was a kid stealing comic books or something. Or he got caught vandalizing something. Whatever. You know, this isn't the same. All right. Here's this thing coming up with is they're going to do it. Hate speech legislation. And I said the reason they're doing this all of a sudden is because before the people that didn't complain about, let's say in Canada, they're talking, like in the States, it's more against anti-Semitism. Here, it's more against anti-immigrant sentiment, against whatever. So they're trying to label it as hate speech. But before, people didn't complain about immigration because of the stigma, especially immigration for the third world, because of the stigma, social stigma, being called racist. Now that the racist label's worn off, it's lost its effectiveness because they use it so much. They're using hate speech as the cudgel that the government will use to silence people who are against mass immigration to Canada. So I've been saying this. They're saying basically, if you're against a group, you're a hater. So let's say I'm saying I don't want millions of Indians to come to Canada, which I've been saying consistently. They could say, oh, you're hate speech. You have hate speech towards a certain group. You know, we're gonna prosecute you. So yeah, that's what's going on right now, because they know people are starting to complain about the immigration issue, and they want to shut them up. It's not gonna work though. I don't think it'll work. So the federal government has officially launched its hate crime campaign to usher in their totalitarian legislation. Still no word if they will crack down on minority groups they're trying to protect who are responsible for the significantly higher increase in violent crime, though. So yeah, they're going to go after the law-abiding citizens that are complaining about crime, complaining about immigration. They're going to call them hate speech. Meanwhile, the rest of the rapists and the killers can do whatever they want. And here's a clip of the news today. I saw this on the news today. That it was making this news cycle today of all of the new hate speech and how hate is on the rise in Canada. It's on the rise.
The coast, ultimately leaving too many people feeling unsafe.
Statistics Canada is going to release some numbers this morning on
Statistics
hate
Canada.
and cyber crimes. This comes after the Liberal government put forward some new legislation tackling hate crime.
It comes as we're getting some new data on the rise of hate crimes in our country.
Canada has seen a troubling and steady rise in hate crimes in many communities from coast to coast.
It's people who are
leaving too many people feeling unsafe.
Peel Regional Police say it's new.
It's people against turning into a third world shithole. That's what it is. It's not hate speech.
Hate crime unit was established largely in response to community feedback. They say individuals and cultural groups that they spoke with.
Cultural groups, there you go. So basically, you're not gonna be able to criticize anything, and they're gonna say, yeah, you're hate speech, man. Yeah. Well, I we'll see how that goes. Okay. Will the real liberal bail reform do anything? We need to add mass deportations to the mix. All right, let's see what he's. The bail reform thing's garbage. I don't even think. I think it's just to shut people up. Like I said, if you're talking about mass deportations of criminals, I would maybe take it more seriously. So the government will introduce new legislation on bail reform aimed at keeping violent criminals and repeat offenders off the street. Really, I don't know why we need legislation. Like, that should be common sense. Like, I don't know why you need legislation to keep violent criminals and repeat offenders off the street. Usually, that should be the norm. Focus on new reverse onus bail provisions for violent and organized crime related offenses. It says under the reverse onus provision, it will no longer be up to the Crown to prove why someone should stay behind bars. It will be up to the accused to prove to the court why they can't be trusted to be released. Whatever, I don't know. Sounds like a bunch of legalese bullshit. It's like if you're a violent criminal with repeat offender, it shouldn't be even an issue, especially if you're not even a Canadian citizen. Right now, in most bailings, the starting point is to release, and the Crown must prove why someone should not be released on bail, making it too easy for repeat violent offenders to quickly get back on the street. We're making bail stricter to keep you safer. He says his government intends to toughen sentences for repeat offenders of auto theft, of organized crime, of home invasions, so that criminals who have repeatedly victimized your community do not have the chance to do so again. I don't know. I don't see this. We'll see about next week how this legislation looks. I don't know. I don't have any faith in these. They cause the problem. I don't really have faith in them to fix it at all. Okay. All right. This is Doug Ford today. Great start to the day at the Toronto Global Forum. It's fitting that he's at the Global Forum. He is a globalist. Where I shared our government's plan to protect Ontario workers by cutting red tape and making Ontario the most competitive place in the G7 to invest. Yeah, it's very competitive. That's why companies are just packing up and leaving. Yeah. What a clown. I can't stand this guy. Oh. Like, the guy's literally destroying Ontario, and he's I don't know why people vote for this guy. Oh, he's not liberal. He's not an NDP. Yeah. Okay. CP24. What's this? All right. This is funny. Toronto renters should make about $44 an hour to comfortably afford a one-bedroom apartment, according to a report. That's crazy. It's true, too. That's the thing. You're screwed unless you have 20 people in the house. I just want to see this. If a renter wants to dedicate about a third of their paycheck to a one-bedroom apartment each month, they should be making up roughly $44 an hour. That's according to... So, yeah. That's pretty bad. Because what's the minimum wage? 17? So what, you're just off by $27 or something? That's a little bit of a gap to make for the rent. Next, birthright citizenship. This bugs me. How Michelle Remper Garner's all of a sudden, we got to get rid of birthright citizenship. And it is a big problem. Like, there's millions of birthright babies being born in maternity wards that, shouldn't be given Canadian citizenship. So it's definitely needs to end, but they had an election like 6-7 months ago, and they didn't say shit about birthrights. Not one word. So it's like, what's the use now? They didn't say shit about this during the election because they're cowards. They didn't want to lose the Indian vote. The Indians are the ones who fly in, have a baby, and leave. So now they're saying it because it don't matter. It doesn't matter. There's no election. And even if there is an election, they'll probably just forget to mention it again. So yeah, I'm still annoys me. So it's like they're just there as a release valve, okay? Because if they were serious, they would have been saying deport people, stop immigration, end birthright citizenship during the election. But they said the exact opposite during the election. So that's why these guys are scoundrels. Conservative Party are scoundrels. Okay. They're scoundrels. If they didn't say anything during the election, and then they say it 7 months later, they're just being assholes at that point. This is Jeremy McKenzie. The only difference between the conservatives in Parliament and the random Canadian users on Twitter is that the politicians get paid a fortune to complain about how awful everything is while doing nothing about it. It's all pointless, impotent theater, and they serve no purpose. So yeah, I'll tell you right now, if I had not even a cabinet minister, if I had the salary of an MP, and my job was nothing but to criticize the government, oh man, we'd be doing a lot of work. But they're not there to criticize the government. They're there just to release some of the anger. It's not going to work though. The pressure release is not going to work anymore. It might work for some of the dummies, but it's not going to work. Seriously though, that's all they're there for. There's that jewelry store, Markham. No, even farther, Newmarket. It's going to happen here, I know. And like I said, now all the conservative, Larry Brock's MP, the conservative MP's talking about birthright citizenship. Didn't talk about it during the election. Would have been nice if the conservatives talked about the birthright citizenship scam during the election instead of now. They're useless. Because Pierre was saying anybody from anywhere can do anything in Canada during the election. He wasn't saying we got to stop birthright citizenship. They're coming in by the plane loads. So it's like people, I don't know. At least the Liberals, they're globalist traitors. They're proud of it. At least, you can fight that. With the Conservatives, Can't do anything with those guys. And here, another thing that Doug Ford, not only Doug Ford destroying the economy, trash talking Trump, working with the liberals on everything, on immigration, but he also is doing this DEI crap and LGBTQ crap in the schools. This is in, where schools? Caledon. But I guarantee it's in Sarnia too. I'm so want to get my kids out of school. I'll do the homeschool myself. So look at this. This is what they're showing kids at school. I'm going to have my own DEI program that's at the house. Life is a bit easier for someone just because of their identity. Yes. Female, male, male. Holy fuck. Gender is that if you are a girl or boy, you can be both. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, this shit is commie Marxist bullshit. And Doug Ford and Bob Bailey, our fat Bob Bailey here in Sarnia Lambton, they're all in support of this because they're the government. They've been the government for the last 8 years. And they run the ministry. They could shut this down in one day. All right. Now, what's this? This is a... We're almost done here. I always love these videos of India and their rivers because I still can't believe it that people would do this to a river knowingly. Like they look like it's not isolated either. This is one of the better rivers actually, but they actually think the river is gonna like automatically clean the water or clean the garbage or magically dispose of the garbage. Is there a dead body floating there? So, yeah, that's crazy. There's some rivers where you could literally walk across on the garbage. Isn't that nuts? That's gross. You know how many rats would probably be there? Oh, big rats, ugly rats too. Right by the river. Oh my God. Could you just imagine? I see these videos every day. And that's the only country. Maybe in Africa too. You know, whoever lets their rivers do this, I don't know. I still get speechless when I see that because I just can't believe it. But hopefully our Sarnia, beautiful Sarnia shoreline won't look like that. We got to stop that from happening. All right, here's Doug Ford bragging about the $75 million he blew on this commercial, and he's bragging. He thinks he's did a good job. It's official. Ontario's new advertising campaign in the U.S. has launched. So yeah, we talked about this yesterday. It's like Ronald Reagan from 50 years ago. Yeah, that's gonna work. $75 million. With like production, airing, like the cost to air these on the networks. So it's like 75 total, but still a waste of money. Okay. This is a good cartoon. 2021. Take an experimental injection or you shouldn't be allowed to go shopping. 2025. Deporting illegal aliens is violating their rights. So yeah, they didn't care about our rights during COVID. And this comes back to what the guy said in the video, how it's not our responsibility to take care of every sob story that comes to our country. Okay. And here's the last post for the night. Look at that dirty river. All right. This wiretap media kind of said what I've been saying. To help push the federal government's totalitarian hate crime legislation, Peel Regional Police has created a new hate crime unit. But don't worry, Canada, extortion, fraud, human trafficking, rape, and child abuse material, which have all had significantly larger increases, will resume as usual. Canada is a joke. So yeah, the police, the police departments are doing hate units now. Like, I bet Sarnia's police are doing it. Well, they already bugged people about being hateful on their social media comments. But, yeah. This is like in UK where the police are going and arresting people for Facebook posts. So, like, it's like the police are starting to get ready here in Canada for that kind of crap. And I'm sure the federal government promised them some funding for that little hate speech unit. Let's see what this says.
Peel Regional Police say its new hate crime unit was established largely in response to community feedback. They say individuals and cultural groups that they spoke with felt...
Peel, which is Brampton, so the cultural groups are talking about are Indians. And the people the Indians are complaining about is people like me who don't want Canada to turn into India.
A lack of judicial support when it came to combating hate crimes. Regional police say its new hate crime unit was established largely in response to community feedback. They say individuals and cultural groups that they spoke with felt a lack of judicial support when it came to combating hate crimes that continue to happen in the region.
They want more advocacy from police when they see patterns or trends or things that are making them feel vulnerable.
Police Deputy Chief Mark DePat says the hate crime unit that launched earlier this month will allow officers to build intelligence with community groups responding quicker to solve and prevent hate-motivated crimes. In May, Peel Police released their 2024 hate-motivated crime report. Last year, 166 hate-motivated crimes were reported, up from 162 in 2023.
We believe that hate crimes vastly are underreported, and really, it's a symptom of how much the community trusts the police.
In their 2024 hate-motivated crime report, Peel Police saw a significant jump in hate crime charges from 2023 to 2024. In 2023, 35 charges laid, compared to last year, where there was a jump, 75 hate crime charges laid.
Okay, I think that was...
Right. And in terms of religious groups...
So you see where this is going. Ordinary citizens aren't allowed to complain about mass immigration and then they'll be called whatever the hell this is. Hate groups.
Accountable.
Now that this unit is up and running, Peel Police believe more people will speak up about hate-motivated incidents. They are encouraging residents to report anything they see, even if they're not sure it's a crime.
Oh.
Afia Ba, City News.
I can report a few things I've seen.
If you don't understand...
If they want to play at that game, yeah. It's horrible. Really, like, people are getting raped and killed and robbed, and you guys are worried about they got their nice cute little hate crime unit. It's ridiculous. All right. Ridiculous. Okay, so that's it for me. I can't talk anymore about this stuff. Oh. So next broadcast will be Monday, October 20th. We'll see. We'll see what happens over the weekend. I'm sure lots of messed up stuff will happen. So until then, have a nice weekend, and we'll see you then. Thanks.